Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people seem to attract success, happiness, and opportunities effortlessly, while others remain stuck in the same cycle of struggle and disappointment? What if I told you the answer lies not in luck, money, or connections, but in the very thoughts running through your mind every single day? Have you ever caught yourself daydreaming about a better life, more success, more freedom, more happiness, yet felt stuck in the same routine, wondering why nothing seems to change? We've all been there. We make resolutions, we set goals, and we even work hard, but somehow life doesn't move the way we want it to. Now, here's the shocking truth. It's not always about how hard you work, how smart you are, or even how lucky you get. The real difference, the hidden force separating people who thrive from people who merely survive, lies in one simple thing: your thoughts. Pause for a second and think about it. Every invention, every breakthrough, every success story you've ever heard about started as a single thought in someone's mind. The airplane was once just a thought. The smartphone in your hand right now, it was a thought before it became reality. Even the life you're living today is the result of the thoughts you've held onto in the past. So, the big question is, if thoughts are that powerful, then what kind of thoughts are shaping your life right now? This is exactly what the book, You Become What You Think, explores in depth. It reveals how your mind is like a blueprint, silently designing the life you're experiencing. And the author shows us that by learning to master our thoughts, we can unlock a future filled with growth, success, and fulfillment. The very first and most powerful idea in You Become What You Think is this: your thoughts are not passive, they're creative. They shape your reality. Think of your mind as a projector and your life as the screen. Whatever plays in your mind, whether it's success, failure, hope, or fear, eventually shows up in your reality. Let me share a story. There were two students who both dreamed of becoming doctors. The first constantly told himself, "I'm not smart enough. Medical school is too hard. People like me never make it." Even before he applied, he was already defeated. The second student, on the other hand, kept repeating, "It's tough, but I will work hard. I will learn step by step, and I'll make it." Same dream, same challenges, but two completely different outcomes, because their thoughts set the direction of their actions. And this isn't just a motivational idea. It's backed by psychology. What you think determines how you feel, and how you feel determines how you act. If you think you're going to fail, you feel unmotivated, you take fewer risks, and you eventually quit. But if you think success is possible, you feel hopeful, you push harder, and you keep going until you make progress. Practical application for daily life. Try paying attention to the thoughts you repeat daily. For example, when you wake up, do you think, "Ugh, another stressful day," or do you think, "Today is a chance to grow and move closer to my goals"? When you face a challenge, do you say, "This is impossible," or "This is difficult, but I'll find a way"? Because here's the truth. Your thoughts are like the GPS of your life. If your inner dialogue is full of negativity, you'll always drive toward failure. But if your thoughts are filled with confidence and possibility, you'll naturally steer toward success. The first and most powerful lesson in You Become What You Think is that your thoughts shape your reality. But let's slow down and really think about this. Every single thing around you, the chair you're sitting on, the phone or computer you're using right now, the building you live in, all of it started as a thought in someone's mind. Someone imagined it first, believed it could exist, and then brought it into reality. Now apply that same principle to your own life. If your mind is filled with thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," "Nothing ever works out for me," "Life is unfair," then you unconsciously create patterns that prove those thoughts true. You'll miss opportunities, avoid risks, and settle for less, because your thoughts have already written the script. But if you fill your mind with thoughts like, "I'm capable, challenges make me stronger, opportunities are everywhere," you start behaving differently. You speak with more confidence, you take action, and people around you notice that energy. Slowly but surely, your reality begins to shift. Let me illustrate this with a simple, everyday example. Imagine two people stuck in traffic. The first person thinks, "This is horrible. I'm wasting my life." Everything always goes wrong for me. He arrives stressed, angry, and drained before the day even starts. The second person thinks, this is out of my control. I'll use this time to listen to an audiobook or reflect on my goals. He arrives calmer, more positive, and even inspired. Same traffic jam. Two completely different realities because of nothing more than a difference in thought. Another story. Take athletes as an example. Before running a race, successful athletes don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. They visualize crossing the finish line. They repeat to themselves, I can win, I am strong, I am fast. Why? Because they know that if their thoughts are filled with doubt, I'm too slow, I don't belong here, their body will follow that script. And the same applies to you and me in everyday life. Your career, your relationships, your health, they are all mirrors reflecting the dominant thoughts you hold. Practical application. Here's a simple exercise you can try. For one day, become an observer of your own mind. Carry a notebook or use your phone, and whenever a negative thought pops up like I can't do this or I'll never succeed, write it down. Then immediately rewrite it in a positive way. I can't do this becomes I'm learning how to do this. I'll never succeed becomes every step I take is moving me closer to success. At first, it may feel forced. But remember this, the mind is like wet cement. Whatever you write in it today will harden and shape your tomorrow. So, ask yourself right now, are your thoughts building the life you want, or are they silently destroying it? One of the best examples of this principle is Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. History tells us Edison failed not once, not 10 times, but more than 1,000 times before finally creating a working light bulb. Now, imagine if his thoughts were, I'm a failure, I can't do this. He would have quit long before reaching success. But Edison had a different mindset. When asked about his failures, he famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. See the difference? His thoughts didn't allow failure to define him. Instead, he used them as stepping stones. Because he chose empowering thoughts, he literally lit up the world. That's the power of thought. It transforms failure into fuel. Now, let's look at another example. Oprah Winfrey. She was born into poverty, faced countless struggles, and endured hardships that could have broken anyone's spirit. Society told her she wasn't good enough, that she didn't have what it takes. But Oprah refused to let those negative messages control her thoughts. Instead, she fed her mind with visions of possibility and greatness. She kept believing in her potential, even when no one else did. Today, she isn't just a talk show host. She's one of the most influential women in the world, all because she guarded her thoughts and refused to let them limit her future. The lesson here is clear. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If your mind is filled with doubt and defeat, your life will mirror that. But if your mind is filled with belief, persistence, and vision, your reality will eventually align with those thoughts. And here's the beautiful truth. You don't need to be Edison or Oprah to experience this. The same principle works in your everyday life. Whether you're a student, an employee, an entrepreneur, or even someone just trying to improve their relationships, your reality tomorrow depends on the thoughts you're choosing today. The second key lesson from You Become What You Think is the incredible power of belief. Belief is like the engine behind every achievement. It's the invisible force that pushes you forward when things get tough. It's also the invisible wall that stops you when you don't believe in yourself. Think about this. Your brain is wired to follow your beliefs. If you believe something is impossible, your mind shuts down and says, don't even try. But if you believe it's possible, your brain starts looking for solutions, noticing opportunities, and guiding you toward action. A famous example, the 4-minute mile. For decades, scientists and athletes believed it was physically impossible for a human to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Doctors even said the human heart would explode if someone tried. But in 1954, Roger Bannister refused to accept that belief. He kept telling himself, I can do it. He trained his mind as much as his body, and finally, he broke the 4-minute barrier. What's more amazing? Within 1 year of Bannister breaking the record, More than 20 runners also ran a mile in under 4 minutes. What changed? Not the human body, it was always capable. What changed was belief. Once one person proved it was possible, others started believing, and belief opened the door to new results. A modern example: entrepreneurs. Think about successful entrepreneurs like Elon Musk. Before Tesla, most people believe electric cars were slow, boring, and impractical. Musk believed the opposite. He believed they could be fast, beautiful, and revolutionary. That belief pushed him to challenge the industry and create what others thought was impossible. Now, let's bring it down to daily life. Imagine two students preparing for an exam. One says, "I'll never pass. I'm just bad at this subject." That belief kills motivation, so they don't study seriously, and of course they fail. The other student says, "This is hard, but if I practice every day, I'll get better." Practical application: how to reprogram your beliefs. The author of You Become What You Think suggests that we must challenge and replace limiting beliefs. Here's how you can do it. 1. Identify a limiting belief. For example, "I'm terrible at public speaking." 2. Question it. Ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Or is it just based on past experiences or fear? 3. Replace it. Create an empowering belief like, "I'm improving my public speaking skills every time I practice." 4. Reinforce it. Repeat it daily until your mind starts to accept it as true. Beliefs are like glasses. If you wear dark lenses, the world will always look dark. If you change the lenses, suddenly you see possibilities that were there all along. So the big takeaway is this: whatever you believe, you give power to. Believe in your limits, and they'll hold you down. Believe in your potential, and it will carry you further than you ever imagined. Example 1. Job interview. Imagine two people going for the same job interview. The first walks in thinking, "I'll probably mess this up. I'm not as qualified as others." That belief shows in their body language: nervous handshake, lack of eye contact, shaky answers. The second person believes, "I have value to bring. I'm capable, and this interview is my chance to prove it." That belief radiates confidence, calmness, and energy. Same qualifications, but the belief makes all the difference in the outcome. Example 2. Health and fitness. Two friends decide to get in shape. One says, "I'll never lose weight. I've always been like this. Diets don't work for me." That belief kills motivation, so they give up quickly. The other says, "It's hard, but I can change my habits one step at a time. My body will respond if I stay consistent." That belief keeps them going, and slowly but surely, they transform. The body follows where the belief leads. Example 3. A child in school. Picture a child struggling in math. If they believe, "I'm just not a math person," they stop trying, avoid challenges, and their grades drop. But if they believe, "Math is tough, but I can improve with practice," they approach problems with persistence, and over time, they actually get better. The belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Example 4. Business and money. Many people believe, "I'll never be rich. People like me just don't succeed financially." That belief stops them from taking risks, learning about money, or starting a business. But others believe, "Wealth is a skill I can learn. If others can do it, so can I." That belief pushes them to read books, take courses, and eventually change their financial situation. The big picture? Belief is the lens you see the world through. Two people can face the same situation, but their belief decides if it becomes an obstacle or an opportunity. One of the most powerful lessons in You Become What You Think is the law of focus. Whatever you focus on expands. Your mind works like a spotlight. Wherever you shine it, that part of your life grows bigger and more important. Think of it this way. If you spend all your time focusing on problems, you'll start noticing even more problems. But if you focus on solutions, opportunities, and possibilities, your brain will begin searching for ways to achieve them. Example 1. The car phenomenon. Have you ever thought about buying a new car, and suddenly you start seeing that exact model everywhere? It's not that thousands of people just bought it overnight. It's because your focus changed. Your brain, through something called the reticular activating system, filters information based on what you're paying attention to. The same thing happens with success. If you constantly focus on failure, your brain will find evidence of failure everywhere. But if you focus on opportunities, your brain will start spotting chances you never noticed before. Example 2, a student preparing for exams. One student spends their study time saying, "This subject is impossible. I'll fail no matter what." Their focus is on fear and failure, so their energy drains, their motivation drops, and they barely try. Another student says, "This part is difficult, but I'll focus on what I can understand first, and then build from there." Their focus is on progress, so they feel encouraged and keep pushing forward. Same exam, same material, but their focus leads them in completely different directions. Example 3, business owners. Two entrepreneurs start a small business. The first focuses on everything going wrong: low sales, difficult customers, lack of resources. That focus leads to stress, blame, and eventually quitting. The second focuses on opportunities. How can I improve my product? How can I reach more customers? What can I learn from this challenge? That focus builds resilience, innovation, and growth. Both face challenges, but one collapses under the weight of problems while the other grows stronger because of opportunities. Example 4, personal life and relationships. In relationships, focus can make or break the connection. If you constantly focus on your partner's flaws, you'll always feel frustrated. But if you focus on their strengths, their kindness, and the positive moments, your relationship grows deeper. The situation itself doesn't change. It's the lens of focus that changes everything. Practical application: how to control your focus. The book, You Become What You Think, suggests training your mind to shift focus intentionally. 1. Morning ritual. Start the day by writing down 3 things you want to focus on. For example, I will focus on gratitude, solutions, and productivity today. 2. Reframe challenges. When a problem shows up, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What's one small action I can take right now? 3. Celebrate small wins. Instead of focusing only on what's missing, celebrate what you've already achieved. This builds momentum and keeps your focus positive. Core lesson: focus is like steering a car. If you keep staring at the potholes, you'll hit them. But if you keep your eyes on the open road ahead, you'll move smoothly toward your destination. So, the real question is, what are you focusing on daily, problems or possibilities? Another fundamental idea from You Become What You Think is that repetition shapes your mind. Think of your brain as clay. Each thought, repeated often enough, leaves an impression. Over time, these impressions harden into habits, beliefs, and eventually, your reality. The author emphasizes that it's not enough to just have one positive thought or read a motivational quote once. Transformation happens when you consistently repeat empowering thoughts and actions until they become second nature. Example 1, athletes and visualization. Top athletes don't just train their bodies, they train their minds through repetition. Take Michael Phelps, for example. Before every race, he visualized the perfect swim thousands of times in his mind. He mentally rehearsed every stroke, turn, and finish. By repeating these visualizations, his brain became familiar with success, making his performance almost automatic under pressure. Example 2, daily affirmations. Imagine starting every day with these simple affirmations. I am capable and confident. I attract opportunities and success. I learn and grow from every experience. At first, it may feel awkward or forced, but repetition rewires your subconscious mind. Gradually, these thoughts stop being just words. They become a core part of who you are. Example 3, learning new skills. Repetition is also how we master any skill. Think about learning to play an instrument, a sport, or even a new language. The first few attempts are clumsy, but by consistently practicing every day, your brain forms neural pathways. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes effortless. Your mind works the same way with thoughts. Positive repetition builds pathways for growth and success, while negative repetition strengthens doubts and fears. Practical daily application. 1. Morning routine. Spend 5 to 10 minutes every morning repeating empowering affirmations or visualizing your goals. 2. Micro repetition. During the day, whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and consciously replace it with a positive thought. Even small repetitions count. 3. Evening reflection. Before bed, write down 3 wins or lessons from the day. Repeating gratitude and self-acknowledgement programs your mind to notice progress. Core insight. The human mind is like a muscle. It strengthens with consistent use. Positive thoughts repeated become beliefs. Beliefs repeated become habits. Habits repeated become your destiny. As the author of You Become What You Think reminds us, what you feed your mind daily determines the life you will live tomorrow. The final key lesson from You Become What You Think is the transformative power of gratitude and positive energy. Gratitude isn't just saying thank you casually. It's a mindset, a daily practice that rewires your brain to focus on abundance rather than lack. When you consciously appreciate what you already have, you attract more of it. Your energy shifts, and your perspective on life changes completely. Example 1. Everyday life. Imagine 2 neighbors. One complains constantly. I hate traffic. My job is stressful. Life is unfair. Their mindset focuses on scarcity, frustration, and negativity. Everything feels heavy, and opportunities slip by unnoticed. The other practice is gratitude. I'm thankful for my car that gets me to work, for my job that pays my bills, for my friends who support me. Even in the same situation, their mindset feels lighter, energized, and more open to possibilities. The reality? Life doesn't change overnight, but your perception does, and perception drives action. When you feel positive energy, you take better decisions, connect with people more effectively, and attract opportunities naturally. Example 2. Personal transformation story. Consider Oprah Winfrey again. Despite a challenging childhood, she cultivated gratitude daily. She often credits her success to keeping a gratitude journal, reflecting on what she had rather than focusing on what she lacked. This simple, consistent practice shifted her energy, helped her overcome setbacks, and allowed her to create abundance in every area of life. Example 3. Gratitude and relationships. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. People respond to energy, not words alone. If you focus on what you appreciate about others, your interactions become warmer, trust grows, and connections deepen. Even small gestures matter. Thanking a coworker for help, telling a friend you value them, or simply acknowledging someone's effort. These tiny acts create ripples of positive. Practical applications. Daily gratitude practice. 1. Gratitude journal. Every morning or night, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They could be simple, like a sunny day, a good cup of coffee, or a kind word from someone. 2. Mental check-in. During the day, when you notice negative thoughts creeping in, pause and ask, what is one thing I can be thankful for right now? 3. Express gratitude. Take time to tell someone you appreciate them. It could be a text, call, or face-to-face acknowledgement. Gratitude doesn't just shift your energy, it shifts theirs too. White heavy checkmark scientific insight. Studies in psychology show that gratitude increases happiness, reduces stress, and even strengthens the immune system. This isn't just philosophy, it's backed by science. By focusing on what you have, you literally change your brain chemistry, boosting dopamine and serotonin, the feel-good chemicals. Core lesson. The practice of gratitude is a superpower. It turns what you have into enough. It transforms challenges into lessons. It shifts your mind from scarcity to abundance. As You Become What You Think teaches us, the energy you put into the world reflects back into your life. Positive thoughts and gratitude attract positive results. As we reflect on everything we've explored and You Become What You Think, one thing becomes absolutely clear. Your thoughts are not just fleeting moments in your mind. They're the architects of your reality, the invisible force shaping every choice, every habit, every success, and even the challenges you face. Every belief you hold, every focus you maintain, Every repetition of thought and every expression of gratitude weaves together the tapestry of your life. Imagine your mind as a fertile garden. The seeds you plant today, whether of hope, determination, confidence, or curiosity, will eventually bloom into actions and results. And even when life feels heavy, even when obstacles seem insurmountable, the power of your thoughts remains your most reliable ally. Like Edison, who saw failure not as defeat, but as a stepping stone, or Oprah, who transformed hardship into opportunity through unwavering belief, you too can turn your inner dialogue into a force for change. Your beliefs act like lenses, coloring the way you perceive the world. When you choose empowering beliefs, you notice opportunities where others see dead ends. When you focus intentionally, you align your actions with purpose, guiding yourself toward the life you want. Repetition is your secret weapon. Each positive thought reinforced day by day, each small action repeated consistently, builds new neural pathways that reprogram your mind for success, resilience, and growth. And gratitude, the conscious appreciation for what you already have, multiplies your positive energy, shifting your perspective from scarcity to abundance, and opening doors to even more possibilities. In practical terms, this means that every moment is an opportunity to consciously choose your thoughts, to guide your focus, to strengthen your beliefs, and to feed your mind with what you want to see reflected in your reality. It's not about perfection or instant results. It's about continuous awareness, daily practice, and the quiet but powerful habit of steering your mind toward what serves you best. And as you do this, you may begin to notice subtle shifts in how you approach challenges, in the way you respond to setbacks, and in how opportunities appear in your life. Each day becomes a canvas, and your thoughts are the brushstrokes. Each decision you make, each word you speak to yourself, each moment of conscious focus builds on the last, slowly creating a life that reflects not the limitations you once believed in, but the potential you have always carried. So as you sit with this, consider, what thoughts are you nurturing today? Which beliefs will you reinforce, and which will you release? How will you direct your focus and energy in ways that shape a tomorrow that feels expansive, meaningful, and aligned with your deepest intentions? The journey of thought is endless, a continuous unfolding of insight, action, and reflection, and every moment offers a chance to plant a seed that may grow into the reality you dream of. And in this ongoing process, there is no final destination, only growth, awareness, and the unfolding possibility of becoming more of who you are meant to be, moment by moment, thought by thought, day by day. And as you continue to reflect on the power of your thoughts, you realize that every challenge you face is not just an obstacle. It is an opportunity to test the strength of your mind, to practice belief, focus, and resilience. Each difficulty becomes a mirror, reflecting the areas where your thoughts may be limiting you and where they could be expanded, reshaped, and redirected toward growth. Think about how your daily habits reinforce the patterns of your mind. Every repeated thought is like a tiny ripple, spreading outward to shape your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your circumstances. By consciously choosing which thoughts to repeat, which beliefs to strengthen, and which energy to cultivate, you are continuously designing your future. And this design is not static. It evolves with every insight, every decision, and every moment of awareness you bring to your own mind. Imagine the subtle shifts that happen when you focus not on what you lack, but on what you can create. When gratitude becomes a natural rhythm of your day, it does not just change your perception of the world. It changes your interactions, your relationships, and the opportunities that gravitate toward you. Every positive thought, every moment of appreciation, every decision to see possibility instead of limitation builds momentum that cannot be ignored. And consider the endless chain of influence. The thoughts you cultivate influence your habits. The habits influence your actions. The actions influence your results. And the results reinforce your beliefs and your thoughts once again. It is a cycle that continues endlessly, an ever-expanding spiral where awareness, choice, and intentionality are the keys to steering it toward fulfillment, growth, and meaningful achievement. Even the smallest moments carry this potential. A single thought of confidence in a quiet moment can influence how you respond to a conversation, how you approach a project, or how you navigate a challenge. Over time, these small, seemingly insignificant thoughts accumulate, creating a life shaped by awareness and intention rather than chance or circumstance. So as you sit with these ideas, let your mind wander through the possibilities. What if every thought you chose today was a building block for a life of purpose, joy, and growth? What if the energy you radiate, the beliefs you nurture, and the focus you maintain were the very things guiding you toward a reality beyond what you currently imagine? And as you explore this, you realize that there is no endpoint, no final moment where mastery is complete, but a continuous unfolding, a lifelong journey of shaping, refining, and aligning your inner world with the life you wish to experience. And in this ongoing process, every thought, every choice, every moment of awareness is an invitation to step further into your potential. It is an open-ended path, stretching forward into endless possibilities, where the act of thinking itself becomes both the journey and the destination, and where each conscious thought carries the quiet promise of transformation that can ripple outward into every area of your life. And as you continue to explore this journey of thought, you begin to notice the subtle ways your mind shapes your reality every single day. The ideas you entertain, the beliefs you reinforce, and the moments of conscious focus you allow all ripple outward into your actions, your decisions, and the relationships you cultivate. Life becomes a reflection of the inner landscape you choose to nurture, a mirror of the mental patterns that dominate your awareness. Every thought carries potential. Every belief carries energy. Every repetition strengthens a pathway that guides your future. And this is where the beauty of intentional thinking lies. Even the smallest shifts in mindset can create monumental changes over time. A single thought of courage, a moment of appreciation, or a belief in your own ability can alter the course of your day, your week, and eventually the trajectory of your life. Imagine living each day with this awareness, seeing challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities to test the strength of your mind, recognizing that each failure is a lesson, each setback is a guidepost, and each success is the result of a chain of thoughts cultivated over time. Your mind becomes both the laboratory and the canvas, where you experiment, create, and refine the life you wish to experience. And as you practice this, you notice the interconnectedness of everything. Your thoughts influence your energy influences your actions influence your results, and your results loop back to shape your beliefs and reinforce your thinking. It is a dynamic, ongoing process, one without a definitive endpoint, because as long as you are conscious, aware, and intentional, the evolution of your mind continues, expanding possibilities endlessly. Consider the idea that gratitude, focus, belief, repetition, and conscious thinking are all threads woven together into a tapestry. Each thread strengthens the others. When you focus on what you can control, reinforce empowering beliefs, practice gratitude daily, and repeat positive thoughts, you are actively participating in the creation of your reality. And yet, this tapestry is never truly complete. It is always evolving, always expanding, always offering new opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. So as this awareness grows, you're invited to step deeper into the practice of watching your thoughts, shaping your beliefs, directing your focus, and nurturing your mind with intention. Each moment becomes a chance to realign, to cultivate positivity, to strengthen resilience, and to expand the horizons of what you believe is possible. And the journey continues, moment by moment, thought by thought, day by day, stretching into a life that reflects not limitations, but the limitless potential within you. Even as you reflect on these ideas, the possibilities are infinite. There's always room for growth, for learning, for evolution. And in this space, your thoughts remain your most powerful tool, your constant companion, and the quiet architect of the life you are continuously creating, shaping, and experiencing. So as you sit with all of this, remember that every thought you nurture today is quietly shaping your tomorrow. The power is in your hands, or more accurately, in your mind. Choose thoughts that inspire you, beliefs that empower you, and focus that guides you toward growth. Practice gratitude, repeat positivity, and stay aware of the seeds you plant in your inner garden. And even though this journey of the mind is endless, even though there's always more to learn, more to grow, and more to explore, what matters most is that you take the first step today by noticing your thoughts, by guiding your focus, and by consciously choosing the life you want to create. Because in the end, you really do become what you think. So start now. Begin with one thought, one choice, one moment of awareness, and watch how your life begins to transform. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that their thoughts can change everything. Your journey is ongoing, and every thought is a step forward. Keep thinking, keep growing, and keep becoming.